My friends, we are all on a journey, a path filled with trials, with struggles, with moments that seem to break us. We strive, we reach, we fall, and we wonder, why? Why did this happen? Why did I fail? Why did I stumble when I was sure I was walking the right path? But hear this, the fall is not the end. The mistake is not the conclusion of your story. It is instead a doorway, a threshold, a lesson waiting to be learned. The question is not if we will make mistakes, because we will. The question is, what will we do with them? Will we let them define us? Will we let them chain us to the past? Or will we take hold of the lesson within them and rise stronger? Life is a journey filled with triumphs and challenges, victories and setbacks. No one walks through life without making mistakes. No one succeeds without first encountering failure. The very nature of growth demands that we stumble, learn, and rise again. Mistakes are not signs of weakness, nor are they proof of unworthiness. They are the marks of those who are actively moving forward, those who dare to try, those who refuse to remain stagnant. From the moment we are born, mistakes become part of our existence. A child does not learn to walk without falling. They take their first steps, they stumble, they cry, but they get up again. Each time they fall, their legs grow stronger, their balance improves, and their determination deepens. Without falling, there would be no walking. Without mistakes, there would be no learning. It is the natural process of life. Yet as we grow older, we begin to fear mistakes. We see them as failures rather than stepping stones. We believe that if we stumble, it means we are not capable. But this is a deception. If a child believed that falling meant they were not meant to walk, they would never take another step. Throughout history, some of the greatest leaders, inventors, and visionaries have encountered failure after failure. Thomas Edison, when working to invent the light bulb, failed thousands of times, but he did not see those failures as wasted efforts. Instead, he saw them as lessons, as necessary steps to discovering what would finally work. He famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." His mistakes did not define him. His perseverance did. The same truth applies to every area of life. In business, in relationships, in personal growth. Mistakes will happen. No one is immune. The key is understanding that mistakes do not disqualify you. They prepare you. Every mistake carries with it a lesson, an opportunity to gain wisdom and insight that would not have been possible without experiencing the failure first. Those who achieve greatness are not those who never make mistakes, but those who learn from them and press forward despite them. Consider an artist learning to paint. Their first strokes may be clumsy, their colors may not blend well, they may create something that does not match their vision, but with each mistake they learn, they adjust, they refine their skills. With time, what once seemed like failure becomes a foundation for mastery. The same principle applies to musicians, athletes, and entrepreneurs. It applies to students, parents, and leaders. Every skill, every achievement, every breakthrough is built on the lessons learned from mistakes. Yet, in a world that often glorifies perfection, people hesitate to take risks. They fear judgment. They hesitate to try because they do not want to fail. But avoiding mistakes does not lead to success, it leads to stagnation. The only way to truly grow is to step forward, to take action, to embrace the reality that mistakes are part of the process. Those who are willing to make mistakes are the ones who will ultimately succeed. Even in the most personal aspects of life, character, integrity, relationships, mistakes play a crucial role. No one is born with perfect wisdom. We say the wrong things, we make wrong choices, we hurt others and ourselves. But these moments are not meant to shame us, they are meant to teach us. The person who acknowledges their mistakes, seeks wisdom, and strives to improve will grow into someone wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. In the end, mistakes are not something to be feared but embraced. They are proof that we are moving forward, that we are striving, that we are on a journey of growth. The question is never whether we will make mistakes, but whether we will learn from them and use them as stepping stones to something greater. Mistakes are not meant to break a person, but to build them. Every mistake carries within it a lesson, an opportunity to grow, to refine, and to move forward with greater wisdom. When mistakes are seen as lessons rather than as failures, they become stepping stones to success rather than roadblocks. Many people allow their mistakes to define them, believing that failure is a reflection of their worth. However, those who achieve greatness understand that failure is never final unless one chooses to stop learning from it. When a person makes a mistake, they have two choices: to dwell on it and let it discourage them, or to analyze it, extract the lesson, and use it as a tool for improvement. The latter approach transforms mistakes into valuable experiences rather than burdens of regret. A student who fails a test may see it as a sign of inadequacy, or they may recognize it as an indication of where they need to improve. A business owner who launches a product that does not succeed may choose to give up, or they may examine what went wrong and adjust their strategy for the future. In both cases, the difference lies in perspective, the willingness to see mistakes as teachers rather than as enemies. History is filled with individuals who turn their failures into stepping stones. Albert Einstein was once told he would never amount to anything, yet he persisted in his studies, eventually changing the course of science. Walt Disney was fired from a job for lacking creativity, but instead of accepting defeat, he pursued his vision, creating an empire that has inspired generations. Their stories highlight a universal truth. Mistakes and setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather detours that redirect people to better paths. The process of learning from mistakes requires humility. Pride often prevents people from acknowledging their failures, causing them to repeat the same errors. Those who refuse to accept responsibility for their mistakes rob themselves of the chance to grow. True wisdom comes from self-reflection, from recognizing where one went wrong and making a conscious effort to improve. Growth begins when a person acknowledges that they do not know everything and that every experience, even the painful ones, can be a lesson. Beyond personal achievements, mistakes shape character. They teach resilience, patience, and adaptability. A person who has never faced failure may not fully understand perseverance. When everything comes easily, one does not develop the endurance required to handle greater challenges. But those who have failed, learned, and risen again develop a strength that cannot be shaken. They understand that setbacks are temporary and that every difficulty contains within it the seed of opportunity. It is also important to recognize that mistakes are often stepping stones to unexpected success. Many times, what appears to be a failure is actually a redirection towards something better. A person may fail at one endeavor only to discover a different passion or a more effective approach. The most successful people do not simply endure failure, they embrace it as part of the journey. They understand that every mistake teaches them something they would not have learned otherwise, making them stronger and better prepared for future opportunities. Perseverance in the face of mistakes is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The ability to keep going despite failure is the key to achievement in any field. A writer may receive countless rejections before publishing a best-selling book. An athlete may lose numerous games before winning a championship. A scientist may conduct hundreds of failed experiments before making a breakthrough. But those who press on, those who refuse to let failure be the final word, are the ones who ultimately achieve greatness. People often fear failure so much that they avoid taking risks. They hesitate, afraid of making mistakes, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of falling short, but in doing so, they limit themselves. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. Those who wish to succeed must be willing to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to accept that mistakes are part of the process. The greatest accomplishments in history were made by those who had the courage to try, to fail, and to try again. Mistakes are not setbacks, they are stepping stones. They are opportunities disguised as difficulties, lessons hidden within moments of struggle. Those who recognize this truth, who learn from their mistakes and persist despite them, are the ones who go on to achieve their greatest potential. Growth and transformation often come through struggle. Just as a seed must break open before it can grow into a tree, so too must people go through challenges and difficulties to reach their full potential. Mistakes and failures are not signs of defeat, they are evidence that growth is taking place. When a person faces difficulties, it is easy to become discouraged, to believe that failure is an indication that they are not capable or that they are on the wrong path. However, the truth is quite the opposite. The very act of struggling means that progress is happening. Without struggle, there is no growth, and without mistakes, there is no learning. A person who desires to grow stronger physically understands that they must endure discomfort. An athlete who lifts weights must push through resistance, breaking down their muscles so that they can rebuild stronger. A runner who wants to increase their endurance must push past exhaustion, stretching their limits so that they can go further next time. The same principle applies to every aspect of life. Intellectual growth, emotional resilience, and personal development all require a process of struggle and refinement. It is in the moments of difficulty that a person is shaped, that character is developed, and that wisdom is gained. Consider the story of a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. If someone were to see the struggle and attempt to help by cutting the cocoon open, the butterfly would never develop the strength needed to fly. The struggle itself is necessary for transformation. Likewise, every mistake, every failure, every hardship that a person encounters is an essential part of their journey. The struggle is not meant to destroy, but to strengthen, preparing them for greater opportunities ahead. Resilience is the ability to stand firm in the face of difficulty, to keep moving forward despite obstacles. Those who develop resilience are the ones who ultimately succeed. Life is unpredictable, filled with unexpected challenges and hardships. No one is exempt from difficulties, but the difference between those who rise and those who remain stagnant is resilience, the willingness to keep going even when things seem impossible. A tree that grows in harsh conditions must develop deeper roots to survive. When storms come, its roots anchor it firmly, preventing it from being uprooted. The same is true for people. Those who have faced difficulties and persevered develop an inner strength that allows them to withstand future challenges. They learn to navigate adversity, to adapt, and to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Many of the most successful people in history achieved greatness not because they never failed, but because they refused to give up. They faced rejection, opposition, and failure, yet they pressed on. Abraham Lincoln lost multiple elections before becoming one of the most influential leaders in history. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television before becoming one of the most successful media personalities in the world. Their success was not determined by their mistakes, but by their refusal to let those mistakes define them. Perseverance is not about never failing. It is about never quitting. The process of growth is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and disappointment. But those who are willing to keep going, who refuse to be discouraged by temporary setbacks, will eventually achieve success. The key is to see each challenge not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone, an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. The greatest breakthroughs often come right after the hardest struggles. Just as the darkest hour is just before dawn, the most difficult moments are often a sign that a breakthrough is near. Those who give up too soon miss the opportunity that lies just beyond the struggle. Those who press forward, who push through failure and keep striving, are the ones who reach their full potential. Life is filled with challenges, and adversity is an inevitable part of the journey. Just as a tree grows stronger by standing against the wind, people develop resilience by facing and overcoming difficulties. The ability to stand firm in the face of hardship is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Those who learn to embrace challenges rather than run from them become unshakable, capable of withstanding whatever life brings. A person who has never faced struggles may not develop the strength to handle greater responsibilities. When difficulties arise, those who have never built resilience may crumble under pressure, while those who have endured hardships and learned from them remain steady. The strongest individuals are not those who have never failed, but those who have faced setbacks and continued forward despite them. Each challenge, each mistake, each difficult moment is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. The key is not to avoid struggles, but to learn how to navigate through them with determination and perseverance. One of the greatest lessons learned through adversity is adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and those who refuse to adapt will find themselves stuck in the past. Mistakes and challenges often force people to rethink their approach, to adjust their methods, and to find new ways to move forward. This adaptability is what allows individuals to turn failures into opportunities. Instead of seeing a setback as the end, they see it as a chance to grow, to innovate, and to find a better way. History is filled with examples of people who adapted in the face of failure. Business leaders who saw their first ventures collapse but used the experience to build something better. Scientists who failed in their initial experiments but adjusted their approach and eventually made groundbreaking discoveries. Artists who faced rejection but refined their skills and created masterpieces. Each of these individuals succeeded not because they avoided mistakes, but because they embraced change and adapted to their circumstances. Another important aspect of perseverance is learning to trust the process. Growth takes time and success is rarely instant. Just as a seed does not grow into a tree overnight, personal and professional growth requires patience and persistence. Many people give up too soon, frustrated that they are not seeing immediate results. However, those who continue moving forward, even when progress seems slow, will eventually see the rewards of their efforts. A farmer does not plant a seed and expect it to grow instantly. They water it, nurture it, and give it time. The same principle applies to life. Each failure, each challenge, and each struggle is like watering the seed of success. It may take time, but with persistence, growth will come. The key is to keep going, even when progress is not immediately visible. Throughout life, there will always be obstacles. Some will be small and others will seem overwhelming, but no obstacle is greater than the power of perseverance. Those who stand firm, who refuse to let challenges define them, who learn from mistakes and press forward despite setbacks, will always rise. The storm may come, but it will pass. The struggle may be difficult, but it will lead to strength. Every challenge faced is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Failure often brings feelings of disappointment, frustration, and even shame. However, failure is not an enemy, it is a teacher. It reveals weaknesses, exposes areas for growth, and provides insight that success alone cannot offer. Those who fear failure often avoid challenges, choosing comfort over growth. But this mindset limits their potential. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, it should be embraced as an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to move forward with greater wisdom. Many of the greatest achievements in history were built on a foundation of failures. Every time a person fails, they gain knowledge they did not have before. A scientist conducting experiments may fail hundreds of times before finding the right solution. A business leader may experience multiple setbacks before discovering a strategy that works. A writer may receive dozens of rejections before publishing a bestseller book. These failures are not defeats but necessary steps towards success. They refine skills, strengthen character, and prepare individuals for greater challenges ahead. One of the most valuable lessons failure teaches is resilience. It tests a person's determination, showing them whether they are truly committed to their goals. Those who give up after failure never experience the success that lies just beyond it. But those who persist, who refuse to let failure define them, develop an inner strength that makes them unstoppable. They learn that failure is not the end of the road, but part of the journey. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds people that they do not know everything, that there is always room to grow. Those who are willing to admit their mistakes and learn from them gain wisdom that cannot be obtained any other way. They become more open to feedback, more adaptable, and more capable of handling future challenges. In contrast, those who refuse to acknowledge their failures often repeat the same mistakes, stuck in a cycle of. Another lesson failure provides is perspective. When a person fails, they are forced to step back and evaluate their approach. They must ask themselves what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and what can be improved. This process of reflection leads to better decision-making in the future. It encourages innovation, creativity, and problem solving. Some of the greatest discoveries and inventions were made not despite failure, but because of it. Failure also strengthens perseverance. When a person faces obstacles and chooses to keep going, they develop endurance that serves them in every area of life. Success is rarely instant. It requires time, effort, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when things do not go as planned. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to quit. Facing failure builds character in a way that success never can. It teaches patience, discipline, and the importance of hard work. It shapes individuals into people who can handle adversity, who do not crumble under pressure, and who are not easily discouraged. Each failure faced with the right mindset becomes a stepping stone to something greater. Those who fear failure often miss out on life's greatest opportunities. They avoid risks, they hesitate to take action, and they let fear hold them back. But true growth only happens outside of the comfort zone. Those who are willing to take chances, to embrace failure as part of the process, and to learn from their mistakes will ultimately achieve far more than those who play it safe. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. Every mistake, every setback, every challenge is a lesson in disguise. Those who recognize this truth, who learn from their failures and refuse to give up, are the ones who rise above their circumstances and achieve greatness. Success is not achieved overnight, nor is it a straight path. It is a journey filled with twists, turns, setbacks, and challenges. Many people believe that success is reserved for those with exceptional talent, intelligence, or luck, but in reality it belongs to those who refuse to give up, those who persevere despite difficulties, who learn from their mistakes, and who continue striving forward are the ones who ultimately achieve greatness. One of the greatest qualities a person can develop is the ability to keep moving forward, even when the odds seem stacked against them. Life will always present difficulties, and no one is exempt from struggles. However, what defines a person is not the obstacles they face, but how they respond to them. Some allow difficulties to defeat them, while others use them as fuel to push harder, to try again, and to prove to themselves that they are capable of overcoming anything. Throughout history, the most successful people have been those who refused to quit. They did not allow failures to define them. Instead, they saw setbacks as opportunities to grow. Thomas Edison, after countless failed attempts at creating the light bulb, did not see himself as a failure. He famously stated that he had not failed, he had simply found thousands of ways that did not work. His persistence led to an invention that changed the world. The same principle applies to every area of life. The difference between success and failure often comes down to the decision to keep going or to give up. There will always be moments when giving up seems like the easiest option, when efforts do not seem to be paying off, when the journey feels too long, or when discouragement takes hold. It is tempting to stop trying. However, those who achieve true success understand that perseverance is the key to breaking through these barriers. Just because progress is not immediately visible does not mean that growth is not happening. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings a person closer to their goal. Hard work and perseverance are more valuable than talent alone. There are many talented individuals who never reach their potential because they lack the discipline and determination to continue. On the other hand, there are those with average abilities who achieve extraordinary things simply because they refuse to give up. Effort and persistence often outweigh natural talent, proving that success is available to anyone who is willing to work for it. Another key to persevering through challenges is maintaining the right mindset. Those who succeed are not necessarily the ones who never feel doubt or fear, but the ones who push forward despite it. They train their minds to focus on the goal rather than the obstacles. They refuse to dwell on failures, instead choosing to see them as valuable lessons. They cultivate an attitude of resilience, reminding themselves that difficulties are temporary, but the rewards of perseverance are lasting. Endurance in the face of adversity builds inner strength. When a person pushes through hardship and refuses to give up, they become stronger, more confident, and more prepared for future challenges. They develop the ability to handle stress, to navigate uncertainty, and to remain steady even when things do not go as planned. This strength becomes a foundation that allows them to face even greater challenges with courage and determination. Success is not about avoiding difficulties, but about overcoming them. Those who achieve greatness are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who never stop trying. The road may be long and challenges may arise, but every struggle faced with determination becomes a step towards success. The key is to keep moving forward no matter what. Thank you for watching.